Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Trev / Nice One. I know you guys out there is probably wondering why you cannot access my page anymore, why you cannot search up my page anymore, www.youtube.com/TravisCJJ anymore. Is because YouTube has terminated my account. Yes, you heard right. YouTube has terminated my account, and I can never forget the date, August 24th, 2021. They had terminated my account. I got up in the morning, I checked my emails as usual, my usual routine. I checked my emails, make sure I paid every bill, etc., etc. And, I get this email stating, "Nice One, we had terminated your account / suspended your account because of spam, scams, and deceptive content." So I'm sitting back wondering, what the heck is going on? My channel is no longer viewable. You telling me if I believe if it's an error or a mistake, then I can appeal to this. And I never in my 14 years of being on YouTube experienced something like this. And I appealed, and YouTube has decided to keep my channel suspended, which is terminated due to the fact of those reasons. When I hit up Team YouTube on Twitter, I was like, "Can you help me out?" I was asking them, questions, and it seemed like they was kind of distant. And I was like, I'm human. I make mistakes. Yes, I admit I make mistakes. And basically, they didn't want to hear that. So I told them I appealed. And basically, Team YouTube said, "Hey, when you get that appeal response back, hit us back up." And, I'm thinking, hey, okay, I'm going to hit y'all back up. Y'all going to try to help me out. So after, I got that appeal, which is the next day, August 25th, 2021. So I received a response back August 25th, 2021, and I decided to retweet, Team YouTube, and with a screenshot and telling them, I don't understand, I'm sorry, this is not going to happen again. And then Team YouTube said, "Hey, okay, cool. We're going to have our team look into that." So then they come back to me a couple of hours later and tweet me back and says, the same thing that I actually sent them in the email, that your channel has been suspended / terminated, and we decided to keep it suspended / terminated. So I was devastated. I hit Team YouTube back up with some questions and stuff like that and asked them for some help, and they just left me on red. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I didn't mean to do this. I didn't do this, or, I'm human. I make mistakes. We all human. And the thing is, they didn't want to hear what I had to say. Okay, so I wrote back Team YouTube when I received the response on the 25th. During that time, on the 24th of August, I hit up, Google support, and I was asking them, what can I do? How can I get my channel reinstated? I didn't mean this, and I was looking up videos of people that got their channel terminated and they got their channel back. But I never seen nobody make a video of their channel not getting reinstated. And I was like devastated. I am still devastated because my channel of 14 years has been deleted. And everything that I have on that channel is deleted. I even expressed with them, I have a video that I had made for my mom's when she passed away in 2008, and they didn't want to hear it. It was like, okay, so just appeal, and your channel has been terminated due to this. Same thing that I got in the email, same thing that I received back, and nobody seemed like they wasn't trying to help me. Even Team YouTube seemed like they wasn't trying to help me. It's like, okay, our bot says this, you did this, okay, we're gonna go with the bot, even though we just breeze through your channel and we see, etc., etc. Not allowing the creator to correct their issue. If you allow the creator or the person, we're all people, to correct their issue and say, hey, this is my first offense, I received no strikes, I received no warnings, and I just got my channel terminated with a good standing channel, and 14 years is a long time to, actually spread that across, these years. And I worked so hard on my content, and I feel like once I got back that response and I hit Team YouTube back up and gave them a screenshot of my response and said, yeah, they decided to keep my channel suspended and they're not trying to give me another chance. And they responded saying, okay, we're going to have our team look into it. But then a few hours later, that day, on the 25th of August, 2021, they decided to respond back with the same thing and saying, well, they decided to keep your channel suspended. And I'm like, I know that. I just tweeted you that, and I'm asking you for help. And it seems like, in my mind, I'm like, it seems like you're not trying to help me. You're not trying to, make a situation lighter on me. You're just stressing me out more and more and more. 14 years is a lot. But with all said, I even expressed to them, I said, this channel means so much to me. I worked so hard on it. And, I have an important video in which I made for my mom in 2008 when she had passed away. And they seemed like they didn't care. Once they had their response and I emailed them or like tweeted their response, my response that I received back from YouTube, nobody wanted to hear me. So after I figured out like Team YouTube wasn't going to help me, I found Team YouTube through other people's videos, and other people said that Team YouTube helped them out a lot. They got their channel reinstated. But I'm like, sitting right here thinking, well, my channel is still not reinstated. My channel is still suspended. My channel is not available on Google, not available nowhere. My videos is just vanished out of thin air. And I'm like, okay, so you just throw 14 years away and not fight for it and, just give it up and just make a new channel. I'm like, I can't do that. I put hard work. It was like blood, sweat, tears, and stuff like that into this channel. And also, not to mention, I just got my channel monetized 3 months ago, and I started to, generate some, money. And I'm like, well, everything is like hitting me left and right. I don't know what the heck to do. I'm trying to find solutions and still trying to find solutions. And, I'm trying to, plead with these Team YouTube, and they left me on red. And, these Google people, they're not trying to help. The Google support, I'm like, why do they have these support people that's not going to help nobody? And they say, hey, if you have any more questions or information, or if you're unsure about something, please hit us up. And then you hit them up, and it's like, oh, okay, you're getting the same answer after the same answer after the same answer after the same answer, and it's like it drives a person crazy. So I hit Google support up after I kept on receiving the same answer, well, your channel is terminated, due to this, and we cannot override that. Same thing with Team YouTube. They're like, oh, we cannot, expedite that. We cannot override that. You just have to file for appeal. So I'm like, okay, I did that. I did this. I heard that. I'm just tired of just listening to everybody just saying the same thing, and the same thing drives you crazy. So I'm like, okay, so let me just hit up, Google support again. And I received this one lady. She's like, oh, what can I help you with? And I said, well, I was trying to get my channel reinstated. And she's like, oh, okay, it's this due to, hijacking. I'm like, well, maybe. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I never had this, happened to me in the 14 years that I have been on YouTube. And she's like, okay, so I'm going to open a case. And she asked me a few more questions, IP address, etc., etc. And she said, hey, I'm going to send you an email, and our tech team is going to get in contact with you and try to help you out. They found one of my channels that I have hooked up to my primary account compromised. So they was looking further into the channel, because I was saying that, with my Google account, I still cannot access my YouTube account due to the termination. So they said, okay, we found that, one of your Google account has been compromised. Okay, we're going to send you this, but we will also look into the case of you not being able to, access your YouTube account due to, termination, etc., etc. So I said, okay, thanks. I'm being nice, as a nice person that I am. I'm not cursing you out. I'm not saying this. I'm not doing that. Even though it's, time consuming, even though it's annoying, frustrating. And, I'm like, my head just want to explode because I'm like 14 years down the drain, 14 years down the drain. And basically they come back and say, well, due to, the channel, that was terminated, it was on your fault, it's gonna still remain suspended, and we wish you luck, but you can appeal, later down the line if you want to, like in 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, cool, thank you, thanks, because they helped me out a lot. So I'll go back to Team YouTube to try to seek help one more time. And Team YouTube did not want to hear nothing that I had to say. I tweeted them, and they kept on leaving me on red. Only until I actually tagged the CEO of YouTube inside of a tweet that I actually tweeted with at Team YouTube along with the message. And that's when they rose from the dead and they said, well, as confirmed when we said, your channel is going to remain suspended, but if you try to appeal or anything else, that is not being considered, a matter anymore. And I'm like, well, why you guys got to talk to me that rude? I'm just asking a question because of the fact, 14 years in the making, and you have 14 years of a channel of, progress and, creative stuff on there, and you're gonna tell me, oh, I cannot appeal anymore? Who are you to tell me I can't appeal anymore? And that brings me to saying that this whole YouTube stuff, how they actually terminate people's channels and then say, okay, we can terminate your channel at any time if we feel like it's severe abuse or severe continuation of something. It's not right for you to delete somebody's channel of years in the making, creative and stuff like that, because computers can be wrong, and y'all using that bot or those bots to determine if somebody's like trying to scam somebody or whatever. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. And not only that, what I always say is that, ask the person, give the person a chance to explain themselves at what happened, and be more explanatory on what you mean in the email. Because when you say scam, spams, and deceptive contents, it's like you're scrambling trying to remember. And you could be anybody, and you could have short-term memory, and you cannot remember anything. You just devastated. And they don't explain to you exactly what is it that violated their policies. Within the past 14 years, I never violated YouTube's policies. I always went by YouTube's policies, and yeah, I slipped up. And yeah, it was my live streaming videos where I posted, 10K sub giveaways. That doesn't mean I was trying to scam anybody. That doesn't mean that I was trying to ask people for money. Once I reached that 10,000K subscriber mark, I was going to give back subscribers for appreciation. But they misinterpreted what I was trying to say. They said, oh yeah, you did this, you did that, you did that. I even offered Team YouTube and, in the appeal that I will be willing to fix my issues. And I will be willing to delete the videos that had violated the YouTube's policy, and nobody wanted to hear that. Nobody wanted to hear my situation, and nobody understood, where I was coming from. They just said, okay, your channel is suspended, your channel's terminated, you cannot access it, no more, no less, nothing else but a ban, whatever. I feel like YouTube should, change that policy. I understand you give people 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes. Each strike has a meaning to it. But for the people that you're terminating, just like that, 1 minute their channel is up, next minute their channel is gone. That's not right. And then you send them this email and you expect them to look back on the things that they had did. And sometimes people have a lot of videos, and it's hard to actually backtrack what they did wrong and they can't have access to their channel or correct their issues